It is a very somber time for the community of Naledi after the deaths of 6 children from suspected poisoning after allegedly eating food items bought from their local Spaza shop. With investigations and inspections continuing on what could have caused the deaths, this tragic incident has yet again brought to light concerns regarding non-compliance with regulations by some informal business traders, including Spaza shop owners. This morning we take a closer look at what has happened to Spaza shops, which are the backbone for many South African communities. Let's cross to Sakina. She is in Naledi. Sakina, what have you got for us this morning? And a very good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Leanne, and thank you for that introduction, because I think it certainly captures the reason for us being here this morning. And as you said, we are in Naledi, which is, of course, where 6 young children lost their lives after allegedly consuming contaminated food items, snacks that were allegedly bought from a tuck shop. So just to give you a sense of where we are, and this is the street on which the tuck shop, the alleged tuck shop from where the children bought these snacks allegedly is located, and we are standing right in front of it. But perhaps just to start off with a little bit of history as far as tuck shops are concerned in South Africa. So this is, as we refer to them, as Spaza shops, you know, something that's informal, something that's hidden, and something that started with communities who were, during the apartheid era, basically removed from the retail outlets that existed mainly in white areas. And then, of course, people were innovative. They made sure that they brought some of those facilities and access to buying certain products closer to their communities, and hence the start of the Spaza shops that were hidden. But because they were hidden, of course, they were informal and they were not registered. And that is something that we will touch on again later, because by and large, now that we have now come into a new era, a new dispensation of democracy, many of these instances, in many instances, these shops still remain unlicensed, and we'll talk to the implications of that. But of course, we understand that there may be between 10,000 and 15,000 Spaza shops in Soweto alone, and across South Africa between 100 and 150,000 Spaza shops. And initially, this was obviously operated as family businesses, where people would convert their garages, where they would convert a room maybe in their home to sell stuff to the community. So very community orientated. But as time went on, especially in the early 2000s, we saw an influx and, of course, a takeover by foreign nationals in many of these shops. And in the main, these would be Somalis, Ethiopians, Pakistanis and Bangladeshis who would run these tuck shops or Spaza shops. And of course, what has subsequently happened is that they were able to pool their resources together, we are told, and as such be able to actually competitively price their products that they would sell to the community. But very intricate, and we'll talk more about that as the morning progresses. But right now, behind me is, of course, the tuck shop, where it is alleged that the children who passed away bought the snacks that were contaminated from. But I am joined here by Mr. Thabo Msimango, and Mr. Thabo Msimango is the father of the late Njabulo Msimango, who was 7 years old, one of the children who unfortunately lost his lives. Mr. Msimango, I must say, first off, sincere condolences on your loss. Unfortunately, as a parent, I know your pain of losing a child. So how are you coping? How's the family coping?
Look, I'd like to greet everyone. The family won't be able to cope, you know. Losing a child that never got sick, it's something else. And the family is still, you know, devastated, you know, of everything. And we're gonna miss him, you know. His shoes, who's gonna wear them? The cup that he was using, who's gonna use it? Look, I'm gonna miss him, you know, in almost every way. that you can think as a parent. Yeah.
And of course, we know that the investigations are ongoing, but I want to know from your perspective as a parent, how did this news break to you? You know, how did you become aware of the unfolding tragedy as it played out on that day?
Look, the investigation, as far as I know, it's still ongoing, and we're still waiting for the actual, news from the police. You know what exactly it's been transpired. Basically, we are still waiting.
So, has there been any indication from the authorities as to how long it will take before you know conclusively what was the cause of death? Have you had any post-mortem results or anything else that has been shared with you?
Look, we are still waiting. You know, the post-mortem, the results, it's still pending. You know, how long will it take for the results, to reach to us as a family? We really don't know, but we are still waiting.
And of course, it is said, the allegation is that the children consumed snacks that were contaminated. From your perspective as a parent who was at the center of this because your child was involved, was one of the children, unfortunately, who consumed and subsequently passed on, do you know exactly what happened, how this particular tuck shop came to be implicated?
Look, I won't have, answers per se, because, as a parent, you're going to make sure that your child doesn't, get something of which you know that it's going to be, it's not going to be, in use towards him. By him, as a speculation, like buying whatever that was been bought, Look, to start with, the mother didn't want to give him, even a cent to go and buy whatever because of, the speculations that foreign nationals, they are buying something of which they are not in good condition, so...
And unfortunately, the worst has come to pass. And we've seen that some of the Spaza shops around the area have subsequently been closed down. Your thoughts on that? Because right across from here, there's another Spaza shop that is operational. We told this one is run by one of the locals here in Naledi. But your thoughts on the tuck shops and the Spaza shops and just their operation in general?
Honestly, closing of Spaza shops, it's not a solution. It's not a solution per se. Look, everyone can buy goods in one place, but where the source, these things are being manufactured, that's where everything it must start. Because closing of Spaza shops, it's not a solution. It's not only Naledi that has Spaza shops. Gauteng as a whole, they have Spaza shops, meaning the investigation. It's not. It mustn't only be done only in Naledi. It must be done the entire country, so that kids out there must be safe.
Mr. Msimango, I'm going to park this conversation there with you for now. Of course, we will have more stakeholders coming through and hopefully try to wade through this conversation and talk to what it is that you expect as a victim to come out of all of this. But thank you so much for sharing with us. Thanks for your bravery, for speaking to us. And once more, condolences to you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right, I'm just going to move over to my right, and I'm joined here by Palesa Kambule, who's the Deputy President of the Soweto Business Forum. Ms. Kambule, thanks for your time as well. So, given the tragedy that has unfolded here, let me get your sentiments on that first and foremost.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. First of all, as the businesses in Soweto, we are just saying enough is enough. We cannot be always grieving or passing out the rest in peace, especially to our young ones, on something that there is a law in our country that really governs how you run the business, especially the business that has food inside. Compliance, it has been the talk of everyone. Everyone is saying none of these Spaza shops have compliance, and now the question is who is responsible to make sure that compliance is there, and the responsibility is everyone, including us as the community as well. It looks like we like entertaining the issues of fake goods that are seen or found in these foreign national tax shops, and we post them on TikTok and on Facebook, and there is, after that, it's just a joke and nothing else. It's been 10 years, more than 10 years, we've been fighting the issue that these people, they are selling things that have expired. Just only that, I believe that it's supposed to be a crime, because you cannot sell food that is expired to the community. And nothing has ever, we have never had any kind of any arrest on all these tragedies that are happening. Last year we lost children in the same space here, and when the results they came, the pathologist, they said that it was not from the biscuits. And now we are saying there's alleged that they ate snacks that had been poisoned, and now the answers, they are saying that on the bodies of the kids they have found a rat poison. So now the question is that who will take the blame? Because somebody here has done a crime, and that crime has cost the lives of our 6 little children, of which now it's really not safe, not only for kids, but for everyone in the community. So we have tried our best, we have fought so much in terms of let us sit down with all the organizations as they are, Bangladesh, Somalians, they have a full structure of executives that come, let us sit down, let us talk. Where are you buying your goods? Why is that your goods are different from the others? Why is that there are so many rumors? Because we can't say, because we don't have facts. Why there are so rumors that you are selling things that have expired, you are selling things that are faked? And then what are these things doing to our community? Because it's not only about children. I can understand for children that their immune system might be weak, but what is happening to us? What is going to happen in 5 years to come on this food that is being consumed from these tax shops? So it has been such a very bad experience. And with our own government, the only time they will stand up is when there is death.
So the question then is, you say you've been fighting this fight for more than 10 years. How have you been fighting it? Because it seems very reactionary. You just mentioned the incident of children who died last year, and things just after a while went back to normal. Here we are again. 6 children have now lost their lives. So when you say you've been fighting, how have you been fighting, and what have been the outcome of that?
Our fight was that we were looking for the source. Where is the source of the goods that is being supplied in the township? And we were then told that they buy in bulk, where we all buy there. And they said that they've got a buying power. And then we then asked our own government, it was still Premier Makura then, he then agreed that in Soweto he will bring a warehouse where all the spazas, especially South African owned, they can make sure that they get the right goods that they can supply to the community. And because of the instability of our government, the time he left and there was another premier coming in, that project had now just faded away. Because until we fix the issue, that why is that all the people that are supplying food, even drinks, they are out of Soweto. None of them is inside of Soweto. We don't have a warehouse in Soweto where we can say this is where we find our food, and this is where all the regulations in terms of health inspection, it is properly done. Because at the end of the day, yes, you are into business, but at the end of the day, you must also take care of the people that you are selling to. You cannot sell to people that they must die. Then who's going to be your customer?
Well, many questions, and of course we're hoping to get answers. Some of the questions that Ms. Kambule speaks about, we will have government authorities who will come through to answer some of those questions. We will have representatives of some of the foreign-owned Spaza shops coming through as well to talk about their practices. The question that Ms. Kambule asked, where do they buy their bulk supplies from? Because apparently everybody buys from the same place, but maybe not. So all of those questions still remain to be answered.